Middle-earth.
Tolkien didn't just write a story, he built a world. And the map of Middle-earth is the key to understanding it. Every step Frodo took, every kingdom that fell, it all makes more sense when you know where and why it happened. This is Middle-earth 101. Let's explore the land behind the legend.
Build me an army worthy of Mordor.
The map we follow in The Lord of the Rings shows only a fraction of Tolkien's world, but it's the most important one. The Westlands of Middle-earth. This is the northwestern region of the continent, and it's where nearly all of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings takes place. Tolkien never published a full map of the entire world, but in his writings, particularly the Silmarillion and the Shaping of Middle-earth, he makes clear that Middle-earth is only one part of a larger world called Arda, created by the godlike Valar under Eru Ilúvatar. Within the Westlands, the map stretches from Belagir, the Great Sea in the west, all the way to the Eredla Thuy, the Ash Mountains that guard Mordor in the east. To the north is the cold, sparsely populated region of Foranwaith, home to the freezing winds and ruins from older ages. To the south lies the mysterious and often hostile land of Harad, the south to Gondorians, beyond which little is known by the free peoples of the north. Every major location we follow, the Shire, Bree, Rivendell, Rohan, Gondor, Lothlórien, Fangorn, Mirkwood, they all lie within this relatively narrow corridor of the northwest. And this layout isn't random. Tolkien consistently used geography to reflect moral and spiritual decline. The west is associated with ancient beauty, the memory of Valinor and the fading nobility of the elves. The east, by contrast, is a place of growing threat, home to Mordor, Rhûn and the spread of Sauron's shadow. In other words, in Tolkien's world, geography is meaningful. The map tells the story before a single word is read. Now that we've covered the shape of the map, let's walk through the major realms of the Westlands, the places where Tolkien's greatest stories unfold. Let's start with the Shire. It's located in the northwest of Eriador. The Shire was granted to the Hobbits by King Argleb II of Arthedain in the year 1601 of the Third Age, this coming from Appendix B of The Lord of the Rings. It is divided into 4 farthings, and centred on Hobbiton and Michel Dalvin. Though peaceful and provincial, it sits not far from the ruins of the fallen kingdom of Arnor, emphasising Tolkien's theme of deep time hidden beneath the everyday. Then we have Eriador and Bree. Eriador once held the northern Dúnedain kingdom of Arnor, established by Elendil after the downfall of Númenor. It later fragmented into 3 smaller kingdoms and fell into decay. By the late Third Age, Bree is one of the few thriving settlements of men, and the Dúnedain Rangers roam the wilds. The land is filled with ruins, barrows and ancient roads, remnants of a greater past now forgotten. But what about Rivendell or Imladris? Well, this one was founded by Elrond in the Second Age after the wars of Sauron and the sacking of Eregion. Rivendell lies hidden in the foothills of the Misty Mountains. It is a refuge of lore and memory, protected by the power of Vilya, the elven ring of air. Elrond himself saw the fall of Gil-galad and carries the legacy of the First Age into the Third. As we move on, we see the Misty Mountains, a vast range running north to south, formed during the Shaping of Arda before the First Age. It divides Eriador from Rovanion and harbours orcs, wargs and deeper evils. Notably, Khazad-dûm, or later Moria, lies beneath its peaks, and Caradhras, the Redhorn, all feature in the Fellowship's journey. Durin's Bane, the Balrog who dwelled in Moria, took this as his home after fleeing the fall of Morgoth. Moving further on, we have Lothlórien, located between the rivers Celebrant and Anduin. Lothlórien is ruled by the Lady Galadriel and Lord Celeborn. Its preservation is maintained by Nenya, the Ring of Water. Though seemingly timeless, Tolkien clarifies in the Unfinished Tales and the Silmarillion that Lothlórien's beauty is held back from decay only by elven will and magic, not eternal by nature. It is one of the last sanctuaries of the elves in Middle-earth. But there's still another elven kingdom, Mirkwood. Originally known as Greenwood the Great, it was renamed after the return of Sauron as the necromancer to Dol Guldur in the south. The forest darkened and its centre became a place of fear. Thranduil, a Sindarin elf, ruled the woodland realm in the north. The shadow over Mirkwood directly prefigures the War of the Ring. But going back to the realms of men, we have Rohan. Once known as Calenardon, the land was granted to the Eotheod by the steward Cirion of Gondor in the year 2510 of the Third Age, after they aided in the Battle of the Field of Celebrant. The Rohirrim are the Horse Lords descended from the Men of the North. Their capital, Edoras, lies beneath the White Mountains. Rohan serves as Gondor's key ally in resisting Sauron's influence from the east, and without them, the war would have gone very different. But talking of Gondor, this was founded by Isildur and Anarion, the sons of Elendil, after that fall of Númenor. Gondor's capital moved from Osgiliath to Minas Tirith after plague and internal strife. Though diminished by war, Gondor retains its Númenorian lineage, architecture, and the last memory of a once greater world. It stands as the primary bulwark against Mordor, and the return of that looming shadow. So, of course, we must also mention Mordor. Enclosed by the Ered Lithuri in the north and the Efel Duath in the west, Mordor was chosen by Sauron as his stronghold in the Second Age. It contains Mount Doom, Orodruin, the volcanic forge of the One Ring, and Barad-dûr, Sauron's great tower. The region was surveilled by Gondor after the War of the Last Alliance, but eventually was left unwatched following the decline of their eastern strength. Its strategic geography, defensible on nearly all sides, reflects Tolkien's tendency to align terrain with moral and thematic purpose. Middle-earth's most famous realms, like those we've mentioned, the Shire, Gondor, Lothlórien, really dominate the map, but Tolkien's world is older and wider than the story we see. So, of course, we need to explore some of the places as well that lie on the edges of the known world, where shadows linger and perhaps those memories fade. Let's start here with Angmar. In the far north of Eriador lies Angmar, founded around the year 1300 of the Third Age by the Witch King, Lord of the Nazgul. Its capital was Carn Dûm, and its purpose was singular, the destruction of Arnor, the northern kingdom of the Dunedain. Though Angmar was defeated in 1975 of the Third Age by a joint force of Gondor and Lindon, its terror left lasting scars in the north. Then if we want to travel further away, let's look at Rhûn. To the east, beyond the Sea of Rhûn, lies the vast, little-known land of Rhûn. Its inhabitants, called Easterlings, repeatedly allied with Sauron, notably during the War of the Ring and the War of the Last Alliance. Tolkien wrote in the Silmarillion that men first awoke in the east. Many who remained there fell under Morgoth's and later Sauron's influence. The cultures of Rhûn are largely unexplored in texts, adding to their mystery and ambiguity. It is even said the two blue wizards who came with Gandalf, Saruman and Radagast went to these lands, and no more is really known of them. But when you look at Rhûn, you also have to consider Harad. Harad lies far to the south of Gondor, and it is divided into Near Harad, bordering Gondor and South Ithilien, and Far Harad, more distant and unknown. Its people, known to the Gondorians as the Haradrim or Swertings, rode Mumakil into battle during the War of the Ring. Though they allied with Sauron, Tolkien emphasises that many were not evil by nature, but were either dominated or deceived, and that information came from letter 183. Harad's cultures are not described in detail, but they represent parts of the world untouched by elves, Númenóreans, or the Valar. And with that we must also mention Umbar. Located on the coast south of Gondor, Umbar was once a fortress and haven of the King's Men, Númenóreans, except these ones were the ones loyal to Sauron. After Númenor's fall, it became a refuge for the Black Númenóreans, and later a base for pirates and corsairs. It was a long-time rival to Gondor, particularly in that Third Age. Even as Gondor declined, Umbar continued to challenge its dominance over the southern seas. And the final specific location worth mentioning right now are the ruins of Arnor. Though the kingdom of Arnor collapsed centuries before the War of the Ring, its legacy remains scattered across Eriador. We have Annúminas, Elendil's capital, which lies abandoned near Lake Evidim, or Weathertop, Amon Sul once housed a palantir and beacon tower, and became a location for important moments in Frodo's journey. Or what about Lothlórien, the last capital, the one that fell to Angmar finally in 1974? Because after all this came the Barrow Downs, near the Old Forest, as this is the location haunted by the Barrow Wights, spirits corrupted by the Witch King. All of these ruins represent Tolkien's theme of lost glory, civilizations that have been swallowed by time, but yet never forgotten. In Tolkien's Legendarium, geography is never just that backdrop. It is a reflection of the world's history and moral state. The further west you travel, the closer you are to memory, to grace, and to the echoes of the elder days. The further east you go, the more you enter a world of fading light, domination, and distance from the divine. In the Silmarillion, we're told that the elves first saw the light of the two trees in the west, in Valinor, far beyond the Great Sea. And though a man is removed from the mortal world by the end of the Second Age, its spiritual pull remains. Lands like Lindon, the Grey Havens, and even Rivendell are steeped in that memory. These places represent more than just a refuge. They are sites of resistance to time itself. The West is where preservation lingers. In contrast, the East, from Rhûn to Mordor, represents distance from the light of the West. Men awoke in the East, as we noted from the Silmarillion, and many who remained there fell under Morgoth's and later Sauron's sway. Sauron did not choose Mordor arbitrarily. It was already remote, ringed by mountains, and symbolically opposite to the blessed lands of the West. The East is not inherently evil, but it is susceptible, because it is far from the ancient truths the elves once knew. Major boundaries like the Misty Mountains, the Anduin, or the Efalduath aren't just natural features, they represent transitions in the narrative. When the Fellowship crosses the Misty Mountains, they pass into a darker, more dangerous world. When Frodo crosses the Anduin, he begins his descent into desolation, not just physically, but morally. Each crossing marks a turning point. Tolkien's world isn't flat or static, it's layered with meaning, and his map reflects that. Knowing the geography isn't just helpful, it unlocks a deeper understanding to the entire story. And so, there we have it. Tolkien didn't just draw a map, he drew a world view. From the fading west to the shadowed east, every forest, city and mountain in Middle-earth means something. They tell a story, not just of battles and kings, but of loss, memory, exile and hope. So the next time you open a Tolkien book and see that map at the front, don't skip past it. The map is a story, all on its own. And with that, it is now your turn. What's your favourite place on the map of Middle-earth and why? Is it the peace of the Shire, the grandeur of Gondor, or the mystery of Rhûn? Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section down below. And along with this, if you would like to support the channel in other ways, please consider our Patreon. You can't always rely on YouTube itself, so this extra support will really help the channel stay strong and keep us getting that content out for you. But with that, thank you for spending just some of your time with me today, and I will see you next time on The Broken Sword.